The clock just turned 6:30 and we apparently on air. I'm getting something. Turn down the speaker.
I think you have to turn your volume down.
What? I think there's a speaker.
Linda needs to turn her volume down.
Right.
So it's all off.
Hello? That's better, I think. Yep.
There you go.
Thank you.
Got it?
Welcome to the Board of Assessors meeting of today, May 19th, 2025. In accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised this meeting is being recorded and broadcast live over the Lunenburg Public Access channel, on Facebook Live, on the Public Access Facebook page, which is https://www.facebook.com/lunenburg-public-access-cable-157-427-270-975-305/. The recording can be found on the Lunenburg Access YouTube channel after the meeting, most likely in the morning. This meeting will be held in person at this location, which is the Bellata Room. Members of the public are welcome to attend this in-person meeting. Please note that while an option for remote attendance and/or participation is being provided as a courtesy to the public, the meeting will not be suspended nor terminated if technological problems interrupt the virtual broadcast, unless otherwise required by law. Members of the public with a particular interest in a specific item on this agenda should make plans for in-person versus virtual attendance accordingly. For remote participation from a computer, please use the link I will read off to you for the meeting webinar, which is https://us02web.zoom.us/811-5200-2194. Again, the meeting ID is 811-5200-2194. From a telephone, you can dial the toll-free number 888-475-4499 and enter the same webinar ID, which is 811-5200-2194 #. If you're not registered for Zoom, you'll be asked for your name and an email address. No participant ID is needed. Press the # when asked. Telephone users may dial *9 to request to speak after joining the meeting. Computer and app users may use the raise hand feature to request to speak. The agenda lists all topics which may be discussed at the meeting and are those reasonably anticipated by the chair. Votes may be taken as a result of these discussions. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by the open meeting law. Additionally, please be advised that the town of Lunenburg utilizes the Zoom platform as host for its hybrid and remote meetings, that the Zoom platform utilizes AI technology known as AI Companion to create audio transcriptions of meetings to aid in the subsequent preparation of meeting minutes, and that AI Companion is activated immediately upon launching Zoom application. You are hereby notified that this AI technology may capture audio prior to the start of the meeting and/or following the conclusion of the meeting. I will now call the meeting to order. Normally we go to comments, but we're going to start with the town election status of board members, which is basically a reorganization of the board based upon our changing membership. I was reelected for 1 year. We still have an opening, so we would love to have someone who has an interest in assessing to approach us. Let us know. I do have a couple of names of folks I'm going to call. But thank you to those people who did vote for me. It's a lot of work, but it's been very rewarding, and hopefully we'll get another good year of progress out of this. I think we need to go ahead and reorganize. Which means, would you like to make a nomination?
I nominate you for chair.
I believe I can second that.
I think you can.
Any further discussion?
No.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I would like to nominate you for vice chair. Sarah?
I guess I accept.
She guesses she accepts. So that was a second. Any further discussion?
No.
All in favor? Aye. We also need a clerk, but you can only, I think you can only have one role,
Yeah,
but I'm not sure which one's more important, so if we
Maybe.
find that the clerk role is more important, we will revisit at a
Sure.
later date.
we're going to get the work done anyway.
Also, I reserve the right to, when we get an additional member, to revisit the reorganization, because that person needs to have a say.
Works for me.
Thank you. Opening comments, any comments from the board?
No,
As I said, thanks for the votes. Hopefully, we're doing something good for you all. Is there anyone here from the public? No one in
No
the
one here.
building?
Nope.
No one on Zoom?
No.
So we're going to move on to the next item. This is the earliest we've ever been to the status report for the principal assessor. So we're at status report for the principal assessor. I'll pass these over.
thank you.
Okay. Ah. So for the month of May, or within the past months, we have had 13 abutters list requests. Our total exemption total for FY 2026 was 132 real estate exemptions. We also received 30 motor vehicle excise tax abatements, so it's quite busy coming in. Janice continues to follow up on the building permits.
Denise is our data collector.
Data collector, sorry, I should have specified that. The cyclical inspections started back up on May 12th, and we have been updating the Assessors website, and the Lunenburg Facebook page has been updated with the streets every week that Josh from Vision Appraisal is inspecting. All of the postcards for this fiscal year have been mailed so that we can allow plenty of notice to the residents and the streets as well. We're trying to do that every week. It's very difficult to do it on a daily basis. It was requested daily by a resident, and it's just impossible for us to do that. But we are doing it every week, and if they have any questions, we can try to reach Josh, but once he leaves the office, sometimes it's difficult to reach him because he's out doing inspections.
Just to be clear, he takes a handful of cards every week and starts to do those inspections. So he would then have to try to find the card if you call him every day. But if we know beforehand, then the card doesn't wind up in his hands, so he doesn't try to go to your place.
Yeah. And I do want to make it clear that if he does inspect a property and if the resident does not want an interior inspection, it's no problem, just advise him of that, and he can do the interior or whatever they wish, so. And the chapter land applications, we had a few that we had not received applications for, nor response from 2 letters that were sent out. I did bring those back to full value. I do have 3 additional chapter land properties that had recent sales that do not have liens nor applications. So we have made an additional attempt to reach these homeowners. I will advise you, we have a deadline. I believe it's in 2 weeks for a response.
I think I asked you last time, but can you do a very brief, what is chapter land?
Yep. So we have 3 types of chapter land in Lunenburg. We have the forestry, which is 61. 61A is agriculture, and 61B is recreation. Our deadline for chapter land applications is December 1st. We have, which has already ended. We have people that have not responded from December 1st, and we're just cleaning up a lot of the chapter land applications, and the files haven't been looked at in some time, so we've been reorganizing the office, going through, making sure that they have liens, and Robin has made a spreadsheet, our admin, so we're trying to just follow up on everything, because I think that was something that wasn't addressed. What we will do is, so To be more clear, the 61 forestry, you need to have a minimum of 10 acres. For the 61A, which is agriculture, you have to have 5 acres, and the same thing for 61B, which is recreation. With 61A, you have to have, every year, you have to submit the sales, whether it's hay, honey, or whatever it is that is grown.
Timber.
Yep. And in 61B, it has to be the land has to be left in an open and natural state.
Thank you.
As far as the goals next month, we're continuing our inspections for our building inspections, or if a homeowner calls with any questions and they would like an inspection, we've been accommodating that as well. Denise and I have actually started to make some headway with our FY 2026 growth. It's currently, this is tax dollars, $333,842.29, which is an assessed value of $23,248,070. It was allocated, estimated to be $400,000 for FY 2026. So we have till June 30th to follow up on our inspections. So we will be very active in the next month to try to finish up on that. And hopefully by next meeting, I'll have a more accurate estimate of the growth.
Next meeting. Did you say next week?
Next meeting.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you said next week or next meeting. Sorry.
Next meeting in June. And I will also be starting the scope of work for our neighborhood review for that DOR directive. So,
When do you expect to have the scope of work prepared? For our next meeting?
for our next
maybe?
meeting, I will have that. Yep.
Great. You mentioned the DOR directives. We actually have more than one,
We do.
and we have started working on virtually all of them, right?
Not all of them. We've worked on the chapter land. We've started addressing sales, following up on sales, cyclicals, and now the neighborhood is the next. I believe we have to look at the land as well.
At the what?
The land as well, but we
Oh, yeah.
we are addressing those.
So the revisitation of the neighborhoods is something we expect to be a 2 to 3 year program to complete.
Yep.
We have to be done by 2029?
Yep, we do.
So that should give us plenty of time to get through that
Yeah.
process and to address the other directives as well.
Yeah, we do have 5 neighborhoods, so we've got to look at that. I've actually already started trying to work on the scope of work. I did actually consult with actually an instructor that I've known for about 25 years, who is actually, he's an appraiser, a general appraiser, just to get some insight. And he did have some suggestions, so it's good. So Denise and I have started looking at some sales. I did take Sarah's map, and we're gonna try to just take that and looking at the sales, looking at the land sales, and see if we can kind of come up with some adjustments based on that.
Okay?
And we have a lot to review because our neighborhood 3 has what? 3,000 parcels, and that actually extends beyond Mass Ave, and we really should actually have like the historic district in one neighborhood, and it is all based on value, so there is a lot that we have to look into with the neighborhoods.
Right.
Yep. So, and that is pretty much it for my update.
Thank you. Any questions?
So you're still making the scope of work?
I'm starting it,
Okay.
yeah.
I'd love an Excel spreadsheet so that I could make it easier for you to get map access.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I did actually try to print out the map. Our big thing is that we can't print 11 by 17, so it'd be great if we could get somehow a bigger copy of that.
I think the capability to print 11 by 17 is here in the
Or
building.
even a bigger copy would
But
be
we need to
good.
figure out how to get to that
Yeah.
access, so. And I'm getting some feedback, Lily. Test, test, test. Seems better. Thank you.
For really large prints, I usually just go to Staples.
Yeah.
So it might be something you
We might
need
have to
put
do
into
that.
the budget. Or is there a roll plotter in land use? Because they always have very large maps.
Oh, in all likelihood, over at the land use, they probably have the
Oh, yeah.
printer product. So if you just check to see how you get access to that, that might help a lot.
Okay, yeah.
Great
That's a good-
suggestion.
Yeah. Yeah, I can check with Brian.
Excellent
Davis as well.
suggestion. Yep. Cool. Okay. No further questions on the status report. We'll move to current business. I have not, didn't we do the February 19th ones last week?
I thought we did.
I did not have an opportunity to do the March minutes. I actually had some travel last week, so I was not available.
Did I give you the copy of the ones I saw and modified?
The ones you what?
We were slated to maybe do minutes last meeting, and I printed out a copy and made edits to them, and I was wondering if I gave them to you. No? I will send it to you.
I don't recall seeing them. Having said that, they're probably right here. No.
No? Okay. That was just in my mind then. Sorry. I'll bring them with me next week, or
I-
next meeting.
Don't have it. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
So we'll go through several minutes at the next meeting.
I have some executive.
Those are perfect.
Yep. Jack has not had the opportunity to go through,
Our former member,
so, but this needs to be changed to the 5th.
the date should be May 5th on that one.
Oh, that's not even the same copy, that's a different date that
I'm sorry.
Sarah has.
one
Oh, this is one copy?
Yep,
And that's a separate
This
one?
one's-
That's-
This one's
that's a
April
different-
16th.
April 16th.
Well, let's do them one at a time. My
Yeah,
fault.
sorry.
I thought there were two copies of, we don't really need two copies, but let me just read through these. We had not seen these yet, so you can read through. So this one has an address in it, so I don't think we can release it. We can just approve it, but not for release. And then it'll have to be redacted in order to approve it for release. This one has several addresses in it. Oh, okay. Which brings up a question on the letter where you are still working with a couple of the chapter folks.
Yeah.
What's their date? What's their final drop dead date?
Let me see if I've got the date. May 28th,
Okay,
that's the deadline.
soon enough.
One of the ones you asked me to reach out to, I didn't have a phone number, but I was able to in the file, there was a number, and I've been waiting to return call, and I haven't gotten one as of yet. That was that one.
So the drop dead date still remains
Yep,
the same, though.
May
because
28th.
We need to take action.
Yeah,
If people don't get back to us, we need to take action.
yep.
They'll get back to us then. So I am reviewing the one from May 5th, executive session. Ms. Cameron is looking at April 16th?
Yeah.
We're going to have to get red pens for this. Thank you. one of the owners had signed the application. I believe the owner's name was on, the other, second owner's name was on the application, correct?
Was not, yeah.
No, it was on there but not signed, or was it not on there
It was, the second owner's name was not on there.
at all?
No,
Okay.
nor signed,
I wouldn't get that.
yeah.
I modified that word to say attorney.
Yeah. Thanks.
Other than that, all the other changes, if you want to, is there anything else you want to look at that one?
Yep,
Right, the rest of it was just fine.
yeah.
First, we'll move on April 16th, not for release, because there are addresses in here.
Yeah, there's addresses in the other one too.
So you want to make a motion?
So I make a motion to approve the executive session minutes of April 16th.
I'll second
Not
that.
for release at this time.
I'll second that. Any further discussion? We know it's not to be released if someone requests the information or we need to post it, which we'll probably have to do at some point. We probably have to do a redacted copy of this. And I'm not a redaction expert. Should we,
So how should we phrase that? To be,
this is for the office only, for future
to be
release.
released when the discussion is resolved?
Yes. That hurt. Rabbit has two T's, right?
Sorry, I didn't understand that.
Rabbit has two T's, right?
Yes. There's a lot of reverberation in here today.
Yeah, there is.
We need more people to show up to absorb some of the sound so we don't get echo. So please, it's entertaining, it's a fun evening out for the whole family.
We just don't have popcorn, though.
Sorry, I
Provide
could do that. So the minutes of April 16th, unredacted, just for the, yep, okay. I don't know how you said it, but
So a motion to
Approve.
approve the minutes for April 16th with the understanding that they will not be released unless they're redacted until the matter is resolved.
okay. I'll second that. Any further discussion? None. Aye?
Aye.
Okay. Do you want us to initial this or date it or something? Well, there's a bunch of things you're going to have to fix. on this
Yeah,
one.
I'll have
We'll
Robert,
come back in and sign them some
Okay.
other time, but,
that sounds good. Yeah.
and you've already looked at May 5th, Ms. Cammer?
Yes.
I have as well.
I motion we approve the minutes of May 5th. There is also an address in there, so until it is resolved, I suggest it may remain unposted.
So
Not
when
for
we
release.
redact it,
Not for
we-
release.
So we just kind of, we just take
Take
that
out any reference to the applicant or their address.
The address, yeah.
Everything else is fine. And a redaction typically is a black line right through the phrase that's being redacted. And there are a couple changes here, so I'll just write,
Okay.
did we vote on that?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now we voted on it.
So I'll
So
have
those can
Robin
be
make them.
modified, and then we can come in, initial them later on.
Okay.
Thank you. Review and approve invoices, expense vouchers, billing errors, et cetera.
Yeah, I have some chapter land. I have a lien for you to sign. This was one of the ones, one of the chapter land applications.
This is a result of the outreach,
Yes, it is.
so we have success.
We do.
Nice.
So this one, that needs to be signed and then
I believe we can,
notarized. Did-
oh, this has to be a notarized signature?
It does.
So-
So would Sarah just sign it and then?
Sarah can sign it today, and I'll sign it sometime in the office when we can get it notarized.
Yep.
This is for a property at, and we can say the address, 150 White Street, for 50, almost 54 acres. Into chapter what? It's on here
Yep,
someplace.
it's
It's forestry,
should be at the top, yeah.
forestry. Yep. Did you want to read it over?
This is another one.
Well, let's finish this one.
Okay.
Let's finish this one. I believe we have to have moved to approve.
I move to approve the application for 61
For at 150 White Street.
at 150 White Street.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
As I said, I will sign this
Okay,
in front of a notary.
okay, sounds good. That's another
This
release.
is also the result of our outreach process. Wow. You're making us a lot of money. No, actually keeping us honest is what you're, keeping us complete. This is for a forestry? It's recreational, this one's recreational. At 233 Island Road, 8.9 acres, almost 9. Anything else we should know about this one?
Nope, just that, I did want to mention that we will be inspecting some of the 61Bs, just to make sure that they are
Uh-huh.
still kept in an open and natural state. It's going to be part of the inspection.
Which means they can't go mowing and cutting
No.
down stuff. Let you take a look at that. I hope they understand they're not supposed to be mowing, and
No, no.
they don't understand?
Well, no, they should understand. And we actually, during our process of going through all these files, we did find a nice write-up that we're going to actually present to the homeowners when we mail out the applications in the fall.
Nice.
And it kind of explains their responsibility and for the chapter that they're in. So it was really a nice informational piece. Actually, we found it for all 3 chapters.
I think people have a lot of trouble understanding the difference between recreational, using it in a certain way, and what passive recreation means.
Yeah.
So
Right.
hopefully that is clear in that
Yeah.
memo you're looking at.
There's so much that goes into it, even for us. I mean, I'm going to try to make up an informational sheet like I did with the exemptions, just to kind of make it easy, because there is so much
That'd be great.
detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on my list of things to do.
And of course,
That'd be great.
you could always put a web link to the long,
Yeah.
detailed explanation if they
Yeah.
like it.
I like that.
Because those laws actually have a lot of thorough explanation.
Yeah,
They're just hard to digest.
yeah.
Right.
It's just a lot.
But if you can summarize it, much like you've done with the exemptions, that'd be great.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
just as like a bullet for
Yep.
each one.
So can I suggest, we accept this into passive recreation land?
That's your motion?
Yes, at 233 Island Road.
I will second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Again, I'll sign this
Okay, yep.
in the office.
The next one is 100 Townsend Harbor Road. This was the right of first refusal. Now I did the rollback tax that I want you to sign, so I did the actual form for that. I have the notice of the waiver, the first refusal option, just for your reference. And then this is the actual spreadsheet, which, by the way, does include the interest in the spreadsheet.
Good.
So I wanted to clarify that. So I have the lien, plus I have the rollback tax. And there's some extra copies of the rollback tax.
So this one's coming, this one's not coming out of chapter, though. It's a new owner?
It's going to be actually sold.
Oh, it is?
So
Okay.
that's the release of the lien, and then the new owner is going to need to,
Put it into
Okay.
chapter if they so choose.
Okay.
so that this is
So
the,
we have this to sign?
plus this is the rollback. And there's a breakdown here of the tax and then the interest.
Yep.
And then this, the spreadsheet,
That includes how much it was each year.
yep. So the
Okay.
spreadsheet is in the back here. And it's each year, and it's the breakdown. I just kept the checks with it, just trying to keep it all together. Because
Okay.
this is for the rollback for that. And then we are actually, for the liens, we have to schedule an appointment with the registry, but just so that we can keep control of this, we're actually going to the registry to file those liens. We're just requiring that they make out a check.
Have it,
directly
so
to
you
them.
have it.
So we have it, yeah.
Okay.
So is that the process that's going to be followed each time chapter land is sold?
At least for right now,
Okay.
yeah. I think we needed to get some control just because,
Yeah, I was
So-
actually talking about when they come out of chapter, they get this bill, and then the chapter land ceases until the next owner of the land files the lien.
yeah.
Is that process written down someplace?
Well, in the chapter land documentation,
The state stuff?
the state stuff, yeah.
That's what should be
Yeah.
happening.
And I did speak with Becky Boucher, and she said that when she worked here many moons ago, she used to even require that the lien wasn't released, but in this case, it's a purchase, so we have to release the lien,
Yes.
just so that the town is covered. They get the rollback. So in this case, we will release the lien, but at least we have a system now where we can follow up and track everything, so.
Perfect. So, do we need to sign anything on here? Just-
yep.
Just this top page?
That page there,
One page?
one page.
Okay. So.
Yeah, I did make 3 copies.
This one makes-
If you want to sign all 3, that would be good, because then I have to make one for Mylene and Izzy, so it's just helpful.
And does the notary have to notarize all 3 copies?
I'll have to look at that. I don't have, let me look at that one more time.
If I were a notary?
On the lien, but I just want to make sure on
Yes.
that rollback tax.
Right.
The lien, yes. I'm not sure if on that phone, if it needs to be notarized.
Okay, so do we need to vote on these or just accept them?
That's just documentation.
We could,
This is, because we're releasing it,
right.
we're not voting, we're just accepting it.
Is there a
Well,
notary on that form there? I don't.
This
I
says
signed
tax
3
collector,
times.
but no notary
Okay,
on
yeah,
this
no,
one.
so there's no.
So I think this one doesn't require it, so, okay. I don't need to, so I can sign
You
them
can
right now?
sign that,
So we don't need to make a motion because we're signing it?
yeah.
Yes, this one
Right,
has a
right, right.
notary,
Yes, that one will be required notary.
okay.
There's so much paperwork with the chapter land.
You think?
And I probably will also do a commitment as well. I have to do that. So I'm not sure if that will serve. Rena thought that may serve as the commitment, but this form here, I'll check with Mylene. If I have to do a commitment, I'll let you know in case I need another signature.
So this is the spreadsheet, and the thing behind the spreadsheet is a summary of the spreadsheet. Okay. And then nothing to sign here.
Yep. That's it.
Wait, so that one,
Yep, this is just
Oh, so it's not-
well,
I don't think we do.
we need to vote on this one because I can't sign it until it's notarized.
Oh, I see.
So-
I motion that we accept the release of the lien on
100 Townsend
100
Road?
Townsend Road.
Is that right?
Yep.
Yep. I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And again, I'll sign that one when
Okay.
we have a notary,
All right.
access to a notary. For those of you watching, I'm sure there's a lot of you watching, several people here in Town Hall are notary publics, so if you ever need anything notarized, come on in. Town Clerk's office has got a couple folks. I think there's one or two others. Anything else on those?
That's it, nothing else.
Fabulous.
I did want to mention, I still have those vision invoices that I have requested further explanation, so we haven't done anything with those till we get that from them on the number of properties that have been inspected. We just have percentage complete and,
They're supposed to finish by the end of June, right?
yeah.
Well-
Actually, July 1st,
First week in July, yep.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
The next item is neighborhood site index plan. We actually talked about that a
We
bit.
did, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I just wanted to reiterate, that is one of several directives. It's probably going to take us 3 years to get it done. We'll be done in time to meet the Department of Revenue's requirement. Do we need to talk about the warrant article?
I got the approval from Kathy. This is just a Xerox copy of it.
I'm sorry.
The state,
The state approved
yeah,
both of them?
yep.
Well, there you go.
That was voted on at town meeting.
Say
Is
again?
that the one that was voted on at town meeting?
Yeah.
That was what we voted on
Yep.
a little over 2 weeks ago, and it's already been approved by the state, so apparently we didn't mess up the wording too badly.
Ta-da.
Ta-da. Thanks. So we can take that one off the agenda forever?
Yep, that one is gone.
I'm glad that's done.
Well, there were several things we've done over the last year and a half to 2 years. This was sort of like the last step, I think, to get our exemptions up to date and current. So we now know what the starting point is for the future. When they come back with the COLA for next year, we'll know what to add to it. So I think we're in pretty good shape.
Except for the means tested. That one, still waiting.
Well, we're waiting on that, which will still need to be done and submitted back to us by the first Wednesday in September. You had talked about the chapter lands, getting the stuff out to folks so they can get it back to us by December 1st. I meant to ask, what schedule do you have in your head about when we need to get stuff out for them?
We'll probably do that in July or August. We'll probably send out the applications
Okay,
then.
sooner is better than later,
Yep.
so that's fine.
And then we will also start on the exemptions as well to
Yep,
start the next fiscal year. Starts all over again
Yep.
and,
yep.
and then get ready for the,
We're moving on, but I wanted to just say how glad I am that the town approved the COLA on each of these things, because that'll help adjust every year for inflation and other things for all of the people who rely on those.
Right. And it's the people who are the most needy who need these
Yeah.
to work for them. Our exemption information was out of date or not complete, and we want to make sure that we take care of the folks who need to stay in their homes. So, thank you, voters.
and also
And
I'd
Jack.
like to encourage.
And Jack.
Jack.
Jack was our advocate for this one.
And also to feel free to call the office with any questions. We'd be glad to assist anyone if they're questioning any of the exemptions.
Yep. Yep. Thank you. We're down to postponed topics already?
We are.
We are.
This is probably going to be the earliest we finished.
Good grief. Criteria for Clause 18, we haven't started working on that, but I want to keep it in front of us because Clause 18 there is the capability for the assessors to give tax breaks to people who are in dire straits. Unfortunately, we need to have consistent criteria in place for that, and we today don't have any written criteria. So until we write the criteria, we won't know what it looks like. And again, it is really aimed at those folks who are in very dire straits, to give them maybe a break. So we'll take a look at that. Again, it's not that pressing because it can't really affect anything until next year. But it may be one of those things that, once we've clarified what the criteria are, there may be a couple people in town who need to take advantage.
I think it would be helpful to establish the criteria maybe in the fall or winter before we start seeing abatement applications.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're sort of separated from those.
Yep. The other postponed topic is sort of intermingled with several things we've talked about, the DOR directives. So we've already spoken about those several times. I don't think we need to review them right now. We probably ought to keep them in front of ourselves every time, and just say, here are, what was it, 7?
I think there's 7 of them.
Here are the 7 directives, and here's the progress we've made on these. Here's the ones we're postponing until a future time. That way, we know we have a plan to get there. So, upcoming meetings, I guess. Right now, we are tentatively scheduled for June 11th, July 16th, and August 13th. Since we only have 2 members at this time, we don't have as many calendars to juggle. I know I have some difficulty with June 16th, but I might be able to make it. July 16th.
So July 16th, I will need to attend remotely.
You'll be what?
I will need to attend remotely if it's July 16th.
Okay.
But I think we had this discussion and there was like no time we were both in town.
Right. So we'll keep it on the tentative
Okay.
side. June 11th is our next upcoming meeting. If there's any need for us to meet sooner than that, and I don't think there is,
No.
but if there's any need for us to meet sooner than that, just let us know. We'll try to figure out some time. We intentionally moved to a once-per-month schedule for the summer, just because it's virtually impossible to get anybody, all the calendars coordinated, and a lot of the work is sort of not focused in that time of year. So it's the better time for those breaks. Is there somebody online?
I don't see anybody online.
I thought I saw something flash up there, but, oh, okay. Thank you. So we'll stick with those dates, June 11th, July 16th, and August 13th, unless there's anything else. We'll be closing the open portion of the meeting shortly. There's no one online for the public, so I'm assuming there's no public comment. Any comment from the board?
None.
None for me either, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn to move into executive session.
I motion we adjourn to enter into executive session, not to return to open session after exiting executive session under Purpose 7 to comply with or act under the authority of any general or special law or federal grant and aid requirements. Oh, I have to read the rest of this.
I don't know, I think you probably ought to while we're here.
The purpose of the executive session is as follows. Applications for abatement or exemption under this chapter shall, except in proceedings before the county commissioners, the appellate tax board, or a court of the Commonwealth, be open only to the inspection of the assessors, the commissioner, the deputies, clerks, and assistants of either the assessors or the commissioner and such other officials or designated private auditors of the Commonwealth. That would be Chapter 59, Section 60 of MGL, Massachusetts law, as the law being cited.
I will second that motion. Any further discussion on executive session? And adjourning the open meeting? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned.